Hello, I'm Professor Lieu. Welcome to our live stream. Today, I'm going to announce our 2020 Spring Raffle, and I'm going to dish to you guys about the origins of Art Prof and show you some pretty embarrassing content from the olden days before we had figured out a few things about how to make video. So this should be a walk down memory lane with some entertaining little tidbits. And if you would like to know what tattoo I would have in my butt and why, you might want to watch the rest of this stream. If you would like to grow as an artist and you're stuck in quarantine, we've got everything you need here at Art Prof, critiques and tutorials. For reference, everything I'm going to go over in the stream today is on the 2020 Spring Raffle page. If you guys go to artprof.org, it should be on the front page. So just click right there on that link and you guys will get everything that you need that's going on. What we have for you guys in this raffle, super exciting. We have so many prizes. Last time we ran a raffle, we just gave out a giant box of art supplies, which was awesome. We'll use so many cool things now. For one thing, for a $1 monthly pledge on Patreon, you can get my book. I bet a lot of you guys didn't even know that I have a book. I wrote this book in 2013. It's very short. You could probably read it in about an hour and a half. It's got stories from my classroom, little tips and tricks. It's a book that's meant to be easy, digestible, practical advice that you guys can read multiple times. It's not one of those stuffy, academic, too many vocabulary words essay books. So don't worry about that. It's very easy to read. And this is super cool, you guys. Did you know the artworks that you guys have seen in our tutorials, you could win one of them? Because you know what? We have 6 artworks right now that were made from our tutorials, and you can make a one-time donation of $150 and be entered to win one of these. So this is a really cool ballpoint pen and watercolor drawing, and it's by Julie Ben Bassett, who is a wonderful illustrator and guest teaching artist. This is from our Imaginary Backgrounds tutorial, which is, I think for some reason, one of our underappreciated tutorials. So if you guys have not checked that out, you might want to take a look at that. Also, you guys, you could have the original gouache painting that Alex Rowe paints in our gouache tutorial. Could be in your living room raw, like in a few weeks. So you probably want to think about entering this raffle because this is a beautiful painting, you guys. I would definitely check it out. This is the tutorial, by the way, which is one of our most popular videos. And if you have not seen it before, you got to watch this. This is like a gouache master in action, which is really, really cool. Let's see. Thanks for joining us, you guys. We got a bunch of people in here. Baparistic is saying your old videos vibe is so different from the new videos. Well, you know what, Baparistic? We're going to take a look at one of the very first videos that I shot back in 2015 when I had no idea what I was doing and I had no experience and I was awful. Like, I just cringed so hard when I watched my old videos, but that's what this is all about. This is all about learning and getting better at things. Also, another original artwork that is up for the raffle is this super cute cat drawing that Lauren did. And I also have one that's also of her cats. This is Tor. She's got 2 cats, Tor and Spicy. He's sort of huddled in this little box wrapped in a scarf. And Lauren and I did these 2 drawings from our cat drawing tutorial, which is really, really fun. We just sit around, we look at cats, we draw them. I mean, what could be better than that? So this is really, really fun. All right, you guys want to know how we got started? Because I think that actually a lot of people don't know what really is the origin of Art Prof and how we came up with the idea. And wow, blood, sweat, and tears, let me tell you. Still blood, sweat, and tears. It's just in a different way, a different version of blood, sweat, and tears. So basically, here's how it got started. I'm not joking, you guys. This is the most boring romance story. Basically, I was really, really bored one night, and I had a blog for a long time that I maintained for like over 10 years. And it was one of those nights, you guys ever have those nights where you really don't want to go to bed, but you also don't want to watch TV and do something sluggish? And so I actually started writing different tips for students down in my blog. And eventually, people were responding to some of these tips that I was giving for students. And I turned it into an advice column that I called Ask the Art Professor. And I wrote it on my blog for, I don't know, about 3 months or so. And I honestly thought, okay, I'll write like 10 columns and then that'll be it. It'll run its course. But actually, the Huffington Post asked me to be a blogger on their website. This is back when they were Huffington Post. This is how long ago it was. Now they're HuffPost. And so I became a blogger for HuffPost, and I started publishing these articles called Ask the Art Professor. So I would give basic tips about anything. And it was very weird because I honestly thought at the time that the only people who would be interested would be people who were actually in art school and were professors and students. But to my surprise, I started getting tons of emails from people from, number one, all over the world, and number two, people of all different ages, different experiences, different backgrounds. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, people really want to know about this stuff. And oddly enough, I actually have answers for a lot of these questions, which was a little bit strange to me at the time. And so eventually I was writing, doing all these columns. And at a certain point, I thought, you know what, this is only going to go so far because people are asking me to explain stuff that is really hard to describe verbally because, you know, visual art is visual. So you need visuals to thoroughly explain things. And so actually, I do have, this is the first Art Prof blog post. The link to this blog post, it's in the video description below. So if you guys want to read the real first Art Prof blog post, you can take a look at it later. And I called this blog post Pie in the Sky because honestly, that's how it felt. It felt like pie in the sky. I thought, well, this would be so cool if I could actually have a show where I could demonstrate to people different techniques and ideas that I have, that I love, that I want to share. And I really thought about it as my own cooking show. Because you know something? I had this friend in graduate school who I helped with some casting techniques. And I was sort of interviewing her and asking her all these questions. And she said to me, you should have your own cooking show. I was like, okay. So we always had that joke about me having my own cooking show. And so being a big foodie and everything, that just really made sense to me. So I wrote this blog post and I talked about how, well, this would be nice. It's never going to happen because it's too big of a concept. Well, it kind of did. And so I moved on from that blog post and I did eventually arrange a first-time video shoot with my partner, Thomas Lara. Probably a lot of you guys don't even know about Tom because he's really behind the scenes and he does a lot of stuff with me, but he doesn't do any of the studio or hands-on production stuff. He does more of the businessy stuff with me. And so he arranged this video shoot. So this is a clip from that very first video shoot. And it's hilarious to me, guys, because like I scripted every single word. Like I wrote out every single sentence and I stressed so much about what if I forget this? Oh, I need to include this. Like I was so uptight. And I remember my mindset at the time was, I want this to be perfect. Nothing can go wrong. Oh yeah, right. Tell me in the chat, by the way, when you discovered Art Prof, because really in my mind, we have been at it since 2014. We did not go live until 2017. So technically speaking, we've only really been around for 3 years. But in my mind, we've been working on Art Prof for 6 years. So tell me, did you find us last week? Did you find us a year ago? How did you find us? I'm always curious to know. Seems like a lot of people find us on YouTube. Some people find us through word of mouth. But it's really helpful to me to find out where you guys found us and when. Seems like a lot of you just found us because I think with the remote teaching and the quarantine, people are finding that, number one, they have more time on their hands And number two, I know that there's a lot of studio art teachers out there who really, really need help in terms of how to teach effectively online. And I know we've just been in huge demand for that reason. I mean, I'm getting emails like left and right from teachers asking me how to run their classrooms. Let's see, people found us May and January, Emily last month, Days 2 months, Karen says March, Louis says last month. Okay, so it seems like a lot of you guys are really recent followers. I feel like I know a few people that found us like way back in like 2017 when we ran a Kickstarter campaign. That was a long, long time ago. But it seems like a lot of people, it's like a year or less, but more likely, more like 6 months or less. Yeah, Needle Strife. Autumn says last few weeks, researching as an art teacher. Brittany says beginning of the year. Savannah says questions on Google. Mrs. Warhol says 2 months. Raphael says a week ago. Wow, this is all very, very recent. Very cool. Okay, you guys want some, cringy video material. You guys ever have this feeling? You know when you look at your old artwork and you just are like, oh God, I just want to die of shame. It's so bad. Like that's how I feel when I look at our old content. And if you go way back and you search on our YouTube channel, you can find a couple of these really old videos. I left them up, I guess supposedly so I can feel better about how much I improved. But also, some of them are popular, and they do have good information. They're just not as entertaining as what we do today. So you can check out and cringe along with me. But I'm going to let you cringe with me right now. You guys ready? I'm going to show you. This is a 1-minute video that I did explaining how to use a white plastic eraser. And it's funny because at the time, our idea with the videos was to make them all a minute or less. Ha! Not happening today with our 80-minute live drawing streams. So, okay, you guys ready to cringe along with me? Here we go. A white plastic eraser is a very strong, stiff eraser that's great for removing highlights. It's like a bulldozer that will just blast right through the charcoal. The white plastic eraser has a very blunt shape, so it's best in the beginning parts of the drawing when you're trying to block in a very large area of highlight. It's not very good for doing subtle adjustments. You'll want to use a kneaded eraser for that. You have to be really physically aggressive with the white plastic eraser, and you have to press really hard. A lot of people do this with their eraser, and they think that their eraser doesn't work. But actually, you just have to put serious muscle behind that eraser to get any kind of result. If your drawing board isn't shaking, you're not doing it right. Even though your white plastic eraser is going to get really dirty, sometimes it'll turn totally black, there's no need to clean it. As long as you press down hard enough with the eraser, it'll work just fine. You guys get some good cringe time in there because I sure did. Oh my God, I just am horrified by how bad we were. So actually, you know what? Maybe it's good that none of you found us until a few months ago, because I bet you anything, if you had found us 3 years ago, you probably would not be subscribing to our channel right now. But yeah, I mean, it's like looking at your old sketches and going, wow, I was really bad. But in some ways, I think we need to look at stuff like that because it's really visible progress. You can really know, yes, it's Sterling, I'm stiffer than the eraser in that video. I am so awful in that video. It's just oh my God. I know, right, Ashley? It does not even sound like me. The whole demeanor, even my body motions are so different. Oh gosh. So anyway, if you guys want, there's more art supply videos on our channel. You can keep cringing and, just remember, that's not the real me. This is the real me. This is what I'm actually really like. All right, you guys. So basically, what I realized making Art Prof is that in the beginning, okay, remember I thought I was running my own cooking show. Okay, it'd just be me. I would demonstrate all these things. But then I realized that, wait a minute, I'm only one person, okay? And I'm a pretty prolific artist. I work drawing, painting, printmaking, and sculpture. But there's such a limit to what you can do as a single person in terms of teaching. And so I brought on the teaching artists, and that became really fun because it was this big group effort that we were super excited about. But you know something, guys? I had this big epiphany. I think about 2 months ago. It was really, really recent. I realized that, you know what? Art Prof is not me, and Art Prof is not me and the teaching artist. You know who Art Prof is? Art Prof is you. It's all of you. You guys are the ones who make Art Prof what it is. Because really, ultimately, this is a community. I mean, sure, I'm doing the streaming. We're providing content for you guys to binge and to learn from. But you guys are what makes this so exciting, because nothing makes me more elated than when one of you guys tags us on Instagram and you say, this is what I learned, or your tutorial inspired me to do this, or those of you guys yesterday who were drawing along with me to those creepy Twilight Zone stills, like that is like, oh, that's like art teacher's dream come true. And so that's what we're realizing, is that Art Prof is everybody in this community. It's the whole Art Prof family. And that's really, really exciting. Okay. Sterling, I'm not stepping away. If anything, it's the opposite. So don't worry about it. So I would like to know, because now that I've had this epiphany, that Art Prof is all of you, tell me who you are. Tell me if you're a college student who went to art school. Tell me if you're in 7th grade and you don't have very good art classes. Tell me if you're 76 and you finally have time and space to make your work. Tell me if, like this person I'm showing you here, as a result of retirement, I've just picked up art again after a long, long hiatus, because I think it's incredible how many people we've been able to reach. I mean, I was on the stream yesterday. I've met people through Art Prof in Bulgaria, Colombia, Mexico, Morocco, Dubai. I mean, like countries that I would never even dream of having the opportunity to visit someday. So tell me in the chat, tell me who you are, tell me where you're from, tell me if you're a lifelong learner, if you're a high school student, tell me what your profile is, because oh my God, I love how diverse our audience is. It's a really incredible thing. Thank you for the super chat, Gina Badeau. Really appreciate your support as always. This is great. Gina says, I'm a 60-year-old artist. I call my one bedroom my studio. That's fantastic. Heather's got a psychology degree in the UK. Love art as a hobby. John is 26. Lot of art in school, never pursued in college. Still do it a lot in my personal time. May's secondary school, trying to learn as much as they can. Delise says, I'm 30. Decided to go beyond scribbling on Post-its and editing means. And Mrs. Horhall, 52 and near retirement, aspired to go to art school but told no. Sterling is a preschool teacher, started drawing and painting. Sherry M is 18. Anya is a beginner. Raphael is a high school student. Wow, this is, oh my God, so cool, you guys. I just love this. Karen is a mom from the Netherlands, wanted to beat the empty nest syndrome. 5 children, oh my gosh. My head just explodes thinking about doing laundry for 5 kids. That's just like so intense. Oh my goodness. Autumn, middle school art teacher, told not to put out assignments, only core teachers, felt unessential at the moment. Oh, and you're also an illustrator. Damara's 28, figurative from Arkansas. Chill is a 16-year-old writer who went from poetry to art. And Meiju is from Finland, 18, found watercolor in quarantine. See, guys, isn't that incredible? This one little piece of the internet has this lovely, polite, encouraging, supportive community where, wow, people are nice to each other online. Like, the internet's not exactly known for inspiring good, supportive behavior. And I just am always so blown away by the community that we have, which is really, really amazing. So yeah, I'm going to keep going, guys, showing you more of the stuff that we have to offer you, but keep telling me in the chat who you are, because I just am elated when I find out that, yeah, Anna is 15, got accepted to art school in the Czech Republic. Bursa is a university student in Germany. And Days is 19 from California. Louise is 19 in high school from Canada. Savannah is 29 and Dutch. And Lisa H is working on a second career, but started art as a lifelong learner. I know, Autumn. What an amazing global community. This is the coolest thing. Don't get me wrong. I love the brick and mortar classroom. That is one of my favorite things. But this is amazing. It still blows my mind all the time. Okay, so to tell you guys more about the Art Prof origin story, because wow, there's a lot of history here at this point, is I want to show you guys this, well, a little piece of this video, because this video is longer than what I'm going to show you. But if you want to watch the full documentary behind the scenes video on Art Prof, the link is in the video description below. This video is a little bit older, so there's a couple of new staff we have, like Jordan and Eloise, who are not in it. But we do have Deepti and Alex and Lauren are in it. Casey's been taking some time off, so he hasn't been as visible lately, but he's in it as well. So you guys might want to take a look. But what I'm going to show you is just like a few minutes, so you guys get a little bit of a sense of what it's like behind the scenes, because one of the interns that started working on Art Prof, she knew about us before she started working for me. And she said afterwards that once she started working with us, she couldn't believe how discombobulated we are behind the scenes. Because she said, you guys look so polished and so together from the outside, and everything looks so solid and certain. And she said when she got behind the scenes, she realized how fluid and not linear the process is. So this will be funny because there's some pretty entertaining clips that you'll see my daughter chasing Casey around at some point. There's some really funny moments going on in there. Oh, wow, we got a lot of people. Adel is 13 years old. Wow, good for you. And Ali says, getting back into visual arts, I'm 31, used to be more into songwriting. Lesser Python, okay, cool, you caught us. 42 from Sweden. Johnny is 69, retired military and teacher living in Virginia. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a few minutes of what it's like behind the scenes at Art Prof.
There's this thing about working with Clara where she'll get two kinds of ideas. One idea is more like, you know, a brainstorming idea of like, what do you guys think? Yeah, okay. And the other idea is like, it's like a steam engine.
It's like this horrible, it's not horrible, and she gets these ideas that she thinks are really good, but then they're actually bad, and Casey and I will try and be like, oh, I don't know if this is such a good idea, and she's like, no, we're doing it. Alex is always like, yeah,
it's
you
like,
should try
that's
it
all
out,
right.
Clara.
Let's do it.
Just do it. It's okay.
I support you. Like, yeah, the other day, like, we had a plan for, like, to start filming on one tutorial, like, early in the morning. Then she comes to pick me up, and she's like, I had this great idea. We're filming these things first. It's like, all right, let's do it. Yeah.
The crazy thing about Art Prof is that we actually only meet as a team like very few times a year, and we have these intense retreats at Professor Lieu's house where we film constantly for the content for our site. It ends up being hilarious. Like, we all make fun of each other and we sleep in the same room.
We don't have, you know, a budget for 15 editors and 8 sound designers and everything. I find myself shouldering a lot of things that I don't have any experience with, or just have no choice but to do. Because some days I look at the project and I say, you know what, if I don't do it, it's just not going to happen. I do supervise things, but I also mop the floor, and I also pick people up at airports, and I also go grocery shopping to feed people when they're here shooting for things. I think when you're starting something from scratch, you have to do that. You know, you don't have that backup.
But I think seeing like that as an example for us, like seeing you take on all these tasks has been so great. Knowing that you are doing all these tasks that are so much out of your comfort zone, like that's been really like, again, kind of inspirational when we have to like, when we come in here and we're filming all this stuff in one, like, in like a few hours, like, you know, we just have a weekend to shoot all of this footage.
Last night I had a nightmare that Lauren's air mattress deflated, because one time Casey's air mattress actually did deflate, so I guess I was like projecting that. I like rolled over off the bed and like checked on her, and she was like cuddled up in her little heated blanket, or is that what it is? Yeah, it's just like moments like that where we like are literally spending 24/7 with each other that we like start dreaming about each other and really caring about each other.
Look, I'm the champion of clapping. Look at this.
Oh, that's really good.
It's really crisp.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for instance,
Art college. It was such
Art school.
Art college. Art school. Applying to art college.
am I talking about?
For me, national portfolio.
Pick up ones that
So if I had a tattoo on my butt, what would I pick and why? I think I would pick a little tiny piranha that was just biting my ass, just for eternity. We're back. Thank you so much for the super chats, John and Mrs. Warhol. Really appreciate your support, you guys. That means the world to us. If you want to watch the full behind the scenes video, the link is in the video description below. You'll get to watch me making Indian cheese bread for the TAs. There's some pretty embarrassing footage in there, but those of you who want to get the full dish on all of our funny quirks here on staff, check out this video. It's pretty hilarious, a lot of the things. Oh my God, Savannah saying Benedict piranhas. Oh dear, that is just too much. I just love that. Let's see. Jularm is saying Champion of Clapping was silly until I listened to it. I think it broke my headphone. Well, you know, there's a joke here at Art Prof that I am this like megaphone in terms of the voice. And so people always know when they're editing who is speaking. Just looking at the sound file, you can tell when it's me actually talking. Let's see. Sterling wants to know, how much do we need to super chat to get a piranha tattoo video? Oh, wow. That's going to be an expensive video, Sterling, because you know what? Getting a tattoo, that freaks me out. Like, I am not a tattoo person at all. Let's see. Sepri is from Paris, 36, former makeup artist. Very cool. So yeah, you guys check this out because we're a very quirky bunch of artists. So basically, what I'm talking about here in terms of the raffle is there's a couple things going on here at Art Prof right now. For one thing, in case you guys haven't noticed yet, we're sort of exploding right now, which is great. I mean, trust me, this is like beyond my wildest dreams because I cannot tell you how many people gave me crap when I wanted to start Art Prof. You would not believe the pushback I got. Like, I had people who used to say to me, because I'd tell them what my idea was, and they'd go, why don't you just teach a class on Skillshare? Or they're like, oh, that sounds like lynda.com. And I was like, no, it's not Skillshare. And no, I don't want to be like lynda.com. I want to build my own thing. And so it's been a hurdle, but we're in a very stable place now compared to, say, 4 years ago when we had no idea what we were doing. I mean, now we just mildly don't know what we're doing. We mostly sort of know when we're streaming and stuff like that, but we're still creatively always trying to troubleshoot and figure out new things to create better resources for you guys. But so here's the thing, here's the problem, is that we have massive growth. I've got so much stuff I want to do. Like, honestly, people are always like, you have so much content. And I'm like, guys, I'm showing you like 1% of what's in my head. I have so much that I really want to share with you guys. But the thing is that I'm spending all of my days on spreadsheets and emails and administrative tasks. And so I get bogged down doing all those things, and then I can't produce the content that I want to produce because I get taken away by all these administrative tasks. And boy, does that drive me up the wall. Auntie M is saying, where are the piggies now? Oh, you know what? The piggy you see who Deepti's holding, so there's the brown one, that's Bubba. And he passed away a few years ago. It was terrible. It was like a family death. Fluffy, who is the white one, he's still around. He's like a little old man. He's so cute. He's like 6 years old. And we have two new ones, Jub Jub and Wheat, who, by the way, are in the creature design tutorial. So if you guys want to see Jub Jub and Wheat, they're in there. So is Fluffy. Bubba is in this one. So you guys will get to see all of our guinea pigs, which is really, really cool. So anyway, we're having some growing pains here at Art Prof because there's so much stuff I want to do for you guys, but there's too many administrative tasks. And the thing is, the administrative tasks, they're ballooning and becoming so much bigger, but our manpower and our budget has not caught up. So we're in a very strange place where we sort of outgrown the setup that we used to have before. And so basically that's why we are running this spring raffle, because we need to do something, because if we don't, I'm going to go insane because I can't keep this up forever. And it was not an exaggeration, you guys, in the video when I said that I mop the floor and pick people up at airports and go shop. Like, I do all those things, and I just can't do it anymore because it's my kids need to have a mother around more often than they do. So that's why we're running the spring raffle. We need to get this up and going. So here's what we can do. If we have an increased budget from the raffle, and remember, you can do a one-time donation or you can do a Patreon monthly donation, up to you guys, and you can check the raffle page for all the specifics. But there's a lot of things we can do more of, okay? Here's one thing that we are going to do. We are going to have more live drawing streams, because apparently you guys are digging these streams. But the thing is, these take time. They take a lot of time for me to set up. I have to plan them. And if I'm busy working on spreadsheets, I can't do them. So I would love to do these all the time. I just can't. I have too many emails and administrative tasks that need to happen. Guilherme is saying Jub Jub from The Simpsons. Actually not. I don't know where we caught Jub Jub. It's so random. I feel like maybe when my kids came up with it. People always ask me if it's from Star Wars, but it's not. We just came up with it. Alice says, you need to hire people to do those tasks. For that, we all have to donate what we can. Really, guys, we all need to help Art Prof go forever and ever because it's awesome. Thank you for your support, Alice. Yep, we need that backup, guys, because the thing is, I'm such a perfectionist that I can't pass it off unless we actually hire like a good, super reliable person. Because, I mean, we have interns who help out and we have volunteers and stuff like that. But anybody, I think, who has run a business or anything, hiring a volunteer is not the same thing as hiring a staff member who is like paid and really there to like run the place administratively. So that is very, very helpful. Nate is saying, are there still going to be the art critique stream today? Yes, Nate, we are critiquing your work tonight at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, we will definitely get to there. So yes, more live drawing streams. If we can get the budget going, I can give you guys more of these. There's other stuff we can offer as well. For example, since the pandemic started, I've had so many teachers and students who are like, how do I do this? I don't know how to run a remote classroom. What is your technology? And I've been trying to put together streams and content like 5 tips for teaching art online, 5 mistakes, how to critique art online. We actually have this section for home art supplies I've been adding to frequently for people that don't have expensive art supplies they can use at home. And we can also add more stuff for students. So anybody who's trying to study studio art online and needs extra assistance, this is a new section on our site, which I just built about 2 months ago, and I really want to expand upon it. But again, it's like a time issue. TA is saying, how can we help if we don't have financial opportunities? You know what you can do, TA? You know what we love? We love it when you guys massage our egos. Like, you can just tell us that Jordan is so handsome, or you can tell us that Alex's voice soothes you, or you can tell us that Lauren's smile makes you smile. Or in my case, tell me that you learned a lot because, art teacher karma. It's just like, oh, I love it when people tell me that they learned. So massaging our egos, that goes a long way as well if you can't contribute to the raffle. Yep, Raphael is also saying you can promote. So yeah, if you guys want to share our Instagram, tell a couple people, help spread the word, that is just as valuable as well. Any kind of support you guys can give us is really terrific. OAM is saying, I became a cartoonist. Do you guys talk about cartoon art? We absolutely do. I would go into our playlist. We have a playlist called Character Design Tutorials, and we have tons of streams about character design, about comics, about cartoons. So definitely check that out. All right, so other stuff we can run with more of a budget and more staffing. We can do more special events. This is a special event I am so excited about. Oh my gosh. Because a lot of the students right now who are graduating colleges and universities, they usually have these final exhibitions, which is a big deal because as a student, you're working there for 4 years and you're building up to this. But because of COVID-19, this has now been yanked away from them. And it's really disappointing for the students. It's really, really hard for them. And so I thought, you know what, let's do this. Let's do a live stream event. Let's feature as many graduating students from colleges and universities around the world, and let's show the world what they made, because they deserve to be heard. Some of the schools I know are postponing shows. Others just dropped it, which I know the schools are struggling right now. Don't get me wrong. This is not an easy situation for anybody, but we're very excited for the stream. Former RISD president Roger Mandel is going to be our, quote, commencement speaker. We have Anita Kuntz, who is a New Yorker illustrator, Grace Lynn, who is a children's book illustrator, Jarrett J. Krajajka, David McCauley. We've got some really cool people lined up to contribute to this stream. And so the more budget we have, the more we can do stuff like this to help feature people whose work is maybe not going to be seen because of different scenarios. Thank you for the super chat, 10,000 Crows. I appreciate the love, you guys. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm not joking when I say that Art Prof is you. I really, really mean it, okay? This is not about me anymore. I thought it was. Remember, Clara Lieu cooking show. But the Clara Lieu cooking show, it was not very good, you guys. You saw how cringy it was. It was bad. So aren't we glad we moved on from that? All right. So we can do more things like that. This is what I really want to do, guys. So an increased budget means we can have more 3-staff streams. Because you'll see most of the streams, it's either just me and one of the teaching artists. But I'll tell you guys, we have so much fun with these 3-person streams. We did this one where we had to guess whether something was done from a photo. So it was me and Jordan and Lauren. And I think you guys can probably tell we really like each other. Like, I feel like when we're doing a stream, it's just like a little party for us. And that's why it's so much fun. But the thing is, having a 3-person stream costs more. It's way more than just doing 2 people. But I want to do more of these because I think that what's cool about our staff is that our staff is really diverse. We have so many different types of artists and personalities, and we love disagreeing with each other, especially Lauren. For some reason, Lauren and I never agree on anything. It's hilarious. And so I just want to showcase more of that staff dynamic. And if we have more of these 3-person streams, that would be awesome. Danya is saying, wish I could have been here for the cooking show. Now, you weren't missing anything. Danya, trust me, it was not a good cooking show. Artist Fana is saying, when will the Art Dare results for April be? That is happening, I think, sometime, not next week, but the week after. Look at our stream schedule, and we will be announcing those results at the end of the month. So pretty soon. Savannah is saying, Jordan truly is gorgeous. Well, thank you very much. I will pass that on. We love it when you guys do that. Like, apparently somebody said on YouTube that they thought that Alex Rowe looks like Nicholas Hoult. You know, of course I know who Nicholas Hoult is because he's an X-Men. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to Nicholas Hoult. He's the guy that played Beast. But I was like, come on, guys. Alex is so much cuter than Nicholas Hoult. Because, you know, when I watch X-Men movies, I'm not looking at Nicholas Hoult. I'm looking at Fassy. Creative Space is saying, how many submissions do you usually get for the free live art critiques? It varies, Creative Space. I mean, some weeks we get a lot. Sometimes it's a little bit slower. It really varies, but I would just try it. I mean, it does not hurt to submit, you guys. In fact, I had somebody who had submitted twice before and not been accepted who got accepted last week. So it can definitely be worth it to take the time. I know nobody likes to feel rejected because that never feels good, but keep doing it, okay? And if you guys want something more casual for critique, remember we have the Discord channel. The Discord channel, we have all of these separate channels that are just for critique. People are really thoughtful and encouraging and supportive. And so this is a great option if you don't get accepted for a YouTube critique. It's just a lot more casual. I think a lot of people like that a lot. And let's see, Alice DB says, I love how sweet Jordan is and inspiring Lauren is. Yeah, I know. They're awesome. I mean, can you guys believe that I found them? I feel like so lucky that I have all these people. Autumn is saying, amazing lineup of speakers for commencement. Yep. working those connections, you just gotta ask around and see who's going to help out, because these students, they really, really deserve this. They deserve this opportunity to be recognized for what they're doing. Now, another thing that I can do with an increased budget, if I can spend less time on spreadsheets, I can get back to the editing. And guys, there's so many tutorials. They're in the can. They're all shot, ready to go. But oh my God, these take forever to edit. And the thing is, editing is not something I can pass on to somebody else, at least in the final stages. I mean, if I could, I would hire a professional editor and I'd just go boom, 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 let's just get it all done. But professional editors, they're expensive. They don't work for $5 an hour. And so it costs a lot. But we have a lot of tutorials of just waiting. They're sitting in my drive like they're ready to go. I just don't have time to edit them because I'm doing administrative tasks. So this is a really cool drawing tutorial that I shot with my friend and colleague, Kathy Speranza. Brilliant painter. And I love her drawing technique. So excited to show this to you guys. This tutorial, oh, I feel so bad. I shot it last August. Still have not gotten to it. Again, because there's too many other things on my plate right now that are more of an emergency. And so this is a tutorial where I actually traveled to Utah and I painted on site. I did watercolors, I did landscapes. I don't know why people love this bread painting so much. Like, I got so many comments about it on social media. It's a loaf of bread that my mother-in-law makes all the time. She makes it almost every single day. And so I did this painting of it. You can watch me paint it in this tutorial. It's really, really cool. Let's see. Livia is saying, I feel pretty confident drawing from references. What would you recommend for improving on drawing from imagination? I mean, I think it would be fun, Livia, to figure out something you want to make and then do many, many versions of it. Like, for example, one of my colleagues has this assignment. His name is Fred Lynch. He teaches at RISD. He has this really cool assignment. It's called 88 Trees. And so he says to the students, okay, you have to draw a tree in 88 different ways. And so you could say, okay, I'm going to make up 88 trees from imagination and see what I can come up with. Because I think the thing that is tricky about drawing from imagination is it's very easy for everything to start looking the same. So if you give yourself a challenge to make things more different, that could be really, really fun. Lesser Python says, so much fun to watch, you guys. Love you're both serious about art, but still make it lighthearted and fun. It's hard to find that combination. Yep, it's tricky because, you know, the art prof side of me, the college professor, wants to be serious all the time. But you know what? That gets boring. After a little while, you just have to be a little bit more fun and just do stuff. Let's see. Anya can't wait for the Rosa tutorial. And we also have this tutorial with Song Kang, and she did the scratchboard tutorial. So this one is also in the can. Just have to get up and start editing it. So that's what I'm hoping, you guys, is that if we are able to raise enough funds from this spring raffle, that we will have the opportunity to finally get to the stuff we really want to get to. So I don't have to do all these like super distracting like spreadsheets, which are not so fun to do. And quite honestly, I really need to just pass on to other people. But let's show you guys some of the other prizes. Like, check this out. If you do a one-time $150 donation, you could win this original artwork, which is a monotype print. And this is from our jelly plate printmaking tutorial. So this is a really fun technique. It's monotype without a press, which is super convenient because, wow, how many people have a $5,000 printmaking press sitting in their home? This is also a brush pen drawing that I did on site when me, Casey, Lauren, and Eloise traveled to Guangzhou, China. It's an alleyway in Guangzhou. And if you guys haven't seen this tutorial, again, I don't know why. This is like one of our underappreciated tutorials because I had so much fun editing it. You get to watch us travel throughout China. We all respond to the landscape in Guangzhou in a completely different way. So this is a really, really fun tutorial. I hope you guys will take a look at it because there's also a lot of good food in it too. So there's actually a hot pot drawing in there if you guys want to see what I do. Another prize, if you guys pledge on Patreon $5 or more, mystery art supplies will just show up on your doorstep. Who doesn't like mystery art supplies? I mean, there's nothing not to like about that. I mean, art supplies, it's just like candy. Like, I know people are like, oh, well, I need to eat chocolate all day. I'm like, I need art supplies all day. Like, it's like, I feel like I have a harder time controlling myself in an art store than I would in a candy store. Like, a candy store to me is boring compared to an art supply store. Oh, Vaporistic, you did watch the Guangzhou video. Yeah, there's a very funny clip of Lauren chasing geese around this landscape in Guangzhou. It's really funny. Anyway, and there's a good clip at the end of Lauren trying to speak Chinese. Is really hilarious. So if you want more footage of us goofing around and acting like idiots, you will find it in this video for sure. All right, so we have mystery art supplies. Also, if you pledge $5 or more, you can get a critique of your artist Instagram. I will critique your artist website. And I know a lot of you guys need help with social media and marketing and promotion. And so this is a really great opportunity because while those videos I do are very helpful, they're not customized to specifically one artist. And so I think having the chance for me to like really sit down and take a close look at your Instagram, your website, give you suggestions for what to change. We normally charge for these. Like normally you can purchase one of these, but it is a raffle prize, which I think is pretty cool. Meiju is saying art supplies are like heaven. You just want everything. Yep. I feel like I'm just drooling when I walk into an art supply store. In fact, sometimes when I'm at RISD, the RISD store is right next door to the building that I teach in. And I'm like, don't go in. Don't go into the RISD store. Like, I only go in if I have an agenda. If I'm like, okay, I need this one pencil, go in there, buy it, and leave. Don't just wander because that can get a little bit dangerous. Another raffle prize, portfolio critique. And this does not have to be an art school portfolio critique. It could also be for somebody who's a lifelong learner. It could be if you're applying for a master's degree, if you want to know about how to improve your character designs, whatever it is you guys are looking for. And let's see, we also have some fun little goodies. We have a lot of stickers. This is one of the best things about having artists on staff. We get a lot of fan art here at Art Prof. So this is a really funny sticker that Olivia Hunter designed many, many years ago. This is in like 2016 because let's just say I have a little bit of reputation on campus at RISD. So yes, the caution sign actually makes a lot of sense. I know I'm nice here on YouTube, but at RISD, a little bit different, little bit of a different version of Professor Lieu. Okay, we also have this sticker, which honestly, this is like one of my favorite drawings anybody has ever done of me. This sticker was drawn by Jordan, Art Prof teaching artist, many years ago. Actually, did you guys know Jordan was an intern in 2016? That's how he started. And then I brought him on a few years ago. So it's amazing how much things progress. And then Victoria Lynn, who was helping out on the channel on YouTube, she did the coloring for it. So this is sort of a collaborative project. We also have this sticker by one of our former staff, Ruth Lee, Crit Time with Professor Lieu. You know where this comes from, guys? Oh, gosh. So one summer, I had this drawing class, and at the end of the class, they said to me, Clara, we bought you a thing of salt because you're so salty. And I was like, you guys, you're ridiculous. But then, you know what made me mad is they gave my teaching assistant a jar of honey because he's so sweet. I was like, why does he get honey and I get salt? And so ever since that salt thing happened, there's all these images of me with salt shakers while I'm doing crit time, making artwork spontaneously combust into a big bunch of flames. So that's where this image comes from. And then lastly, we also have my book. So this is a really fun read. It's quick, it's digestible, it's really, really easy. So check that out. So I hope you guys will contribute to the spring raffle. Just know that it closes on May 30th. So that gives you guys about a week and a half. If you can't contribute, massage our egos, help us spread the word. We would really, really appreciate that because I want Art Prof to keep going. But the thing is, I can't go crazy like I am right now with all the administrative tasks and trying to take care of everything at the same time. So if you guys, whatever you can give us, we would appreciate it so much, because you know what? You guys are Art Prof. Remember, you are what makes us what we are. And I am so grateful and appreciative of that every single day. I'm going to go on and be on the Discord for just a little bit after the stream. So if you guys have any other questions you want to talk to me about, I will be over there in a few minutes. And I hope you will subscribe to our channel and join the Art Prof family. And as always, thank you so much to our top Patreon supporters for making this possible. This is your chance to be a top Patreon supporter. I mean, you can do it anytime you want, trust me. But now is a great time because you get entered into the raffle as well. And by the way, if you're already a Patreon supporter and you want to enter the raffle, just bump it up by $1 or by $5 or whatever amount you want, and you will enter the raffle that way. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. I will see you next